Hi, welcome back. It's day 3. I don't know why the lighting seems to be off today. Maybe it's better now. I guess so. It's probably the lighting of the phone which is why it looks less clear. All right. So topics for today. First one, I'd like to start off with the pizza paradox. So today we had a monthly hub stand up and wherein everyone congregates in the main bunker project room, and then we talk about everyone from different projects. One person from each project is elected to speak to the entirety of the innovation lab in terms of where their project is, a brief one-liner of what their project is, where their project is in terms of project phase, what are going on in maintaining good velocity, which phases, which aren't, what are the roadblocks, bottlenecks, and where they see it headed, and things of that nature. So it's just to bring everyone up to speed. And Ileana, our professor, she's come today, and then A introduced her to the rest of the team, and then he told everyone about how she wants to author an academic paper with the aspiration of it at some point in time being published in an academic journal such as the HBR, things of that academic repute. It's about the ways of working within us, the innovation lab, and how it's affecting the whole monolith of an organization, and how each of these entities are informed, influence each other, how to navigate around certain things, all of that. So basically she's going to conduct an ethnographic study on us by observing us, by being present with us at all points. And during that, so it was a recent introduction, the monthly stand-up. This is the second or third time we've had it, and it's going to become a consistently staged monthly catch-up. It's a good way to stay informed, everyone. So the pizza paradox. So we got food. We brought in food for everyone in attendance, and the pizzas, everyone inhaled the pizzas per se. It was finished before we realized. It went very quickly. Pepperoni and spicy pepperoni, and then the remaining in order, in descending order of their disappearance, listed. So at the very end, many hours later, so the pizzas were dispersed. It was set in a certain place, and there were boxes all around, and many hours later people kept coming, checking the boxes and leaving, and then me too, I checked the boxes that were initially kept at the place where they were assembled. And then later on, while I stayed back for work for a few more hours, I was checking, there was another pizza which was on another table, and people, even those that were sitting on that table, left that pizza box and came to where the pizzas were originally set. And they were looking, rummaging through the empty boxes, and there were none, and then they left. And I just chanced upon this box, and inside there were many slices. So I took them, and then I realized how this box was clearly visible but not noticeable. And that got me to thinking. The disparity between these two terms, visibility and noticeability. It was there in plain sight. It was not hidden. It was visible but not noticed by the others. What is the difference being visible and being noticeable? How does that affect us in our lives? Are we visible? Do you think you're visible? Do you think you're noticeable? I think we are one at each point in time, but that's too reductive and easy of a conclusion, right? Yeah, we are both visible at times and noticeable. Maybe that is the reality, but I guess we are predominantly visible or noticeable, one or the other. And I guess I believe it comes down to your aspirations and goals. What do you want to be? Noticeable or visible? I imagined Nish talking about two scenarios. When I spoke to him, I caught up with him, I told him about your profile, and then said, she's very good, she has full-time work ex, and just take a look at her profile. And then he's like, yeah, sure, copy Henry and set me in so he knows you've gone through me. I did that. Then I imagined two scenarios. Remember how I talked about the other day exhausting futures? You think about a future, you live it, and then it's done, it doesn't happen, you risk, the pigeon superstition, you form this logic chain thinking. If you think that and extinguish that future, that in your thought itself, it can't become a reality. But here, I thought about two things without one and then the other without forcing it. Not because I wanted to stay less superstitious. Yes, one instinctively I thought, he's like, they've considered it, and he came back to me and he said, she's good, but she's not a good fit for the kind of roles we have now. And that's what I just instinctively, that's the future that came. And then soon after, the other followed, where both liked it. They were interviewed, and you were taken in, and you started working there. And I imagine you coming here. Surprisingly, I didn't imagine me coming there to visit you in Houston after you were recruited. It was just you coming over to London for certain things, and they all really enjoyed your work. And then we became this power couple. We stayed in Shell for a long time. We became forces to be reckoned with. We were looked at like strong pillars at the forefront of things, and then we were this power couple within Shell. Both of us were at Shell. You were leading something, I was leading something, and people were looking at us like this ideal power couple. That's another feature that came to mind. First this and then that, and then thought it was interesting. Talk about exhausting futures and all of that. So, and yeah, those are the two things. Yeah, and another thing, I met my line manager at Shell. I was assigned one. So even though Kevin is the manager within the innovation lab, and he's going to be closely observing my ways of working, my work ethic, and my discipline, because we are co-located. But despite that, I am assigned one from the business side of Shell. So I went over to one of the offices, and then business side of the shelter things and all that. I went to the office, and basically I met my line manager, and then he told me about the ways inside of an organization, of a corporation, how you can. I was talking about, naturally, the conversation, the dialogue came to a certain point where I was pressing him for more information. I was being more inquisitive on career progression, visibility of career progression, how one jumps through the grades and the rungs of this organizational ladder, how to accelerate this process, how to inject velocity in your ascension, and all that. And he said, I guess this is applicable in. It's got a universal applicability frame to it. It's just, so it doesn't. He told me it doesn't matter even if you're the most top performing applicant or candidate. You need to network, and that just solidified and cemented and reassured to me the importance of building networks, building connections, having the buy-in from the top, increasing your own visibility and noticeability, not visibility, increasing how noticeable you are within the upper rungs of the organizational machine, how to engage stakeholders, how to manage stakeholders. It's all a very delicate dalliance, and you could be the most brilliant guy, but if you aren't well socialized with navigating through the minutia of human management and relationship management, you will have a gradual pace in the way you are promoted or you rise up through the org hierarchy per se. And it's very interesting, and I'm very much looking forward to that aspect of stakeholder management, engagement, mentorship, and tease how this is formed. And because this is reality, right? At the end of the day, this is how the world works, and you're either in or you're not. You may not be out, but you're in or not. And this is what interests me: organizational behavior, things of this nature. That's something I found out and need to action on certain things. I need to make a plan for myself, clearly define this end goal, and start to create a path where I can realize quick wins and make sure to maintain this and to ensure its orientation such that it reaches that end goal. I need to define this end goal, qualify it, codify it, and trace paths, all possible paths in order to get there. And I need to keep conducting sense checks along the way, and I need to hold self-retrospectives to see how far I've done, whether I've actioned these things, whether I haven't, if I haven't, what to do in order to compensate for them. And unless I have this defined, well-defined plan, I can't just be floating around in this world of multiple intermingling consciousness kind of state and expect to somehow chance upon that. It might be too late. So, yeah. Well, that's it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow.